And we're taking a look at the Altadena area. This is going to be the Eaton Fire, and this is the first time I personally have seen any of the destruction out here, and I have to start out with where we are, and then let's talk about what's going on. This is actually going to be Lincoln Avenue. I'm going to bring up the map real quick so you guys can follow along. Now, Lincoln Avenue is going to be on the west side of the Eaton Fire as far as devastation goes. So on the left side of the screen, you see neighborhoods still standing, good shape. There's probably maybe one or two homes that might have been damaged from the fire. But if you go off to the east, neighborhood after neighborhood, it's all Altadena, but all of those blocks, those homes are pretty much leveled. Now, when we saw the Palisades Fire for the first time, I was in awe by the number of homes that were destroyed, and I don't have access to those numbers up here. But if you start looking at the Eaton Fire, so this is, again, you got to remember, this is the first time I physically have seen this. The devastation just goes and goes and goes. That's kind of the same description we were using for the Palisades Fire, but in this case, this is all neighborhoods. We saw a couple of neighborhoods out there in Palisades, and then you saw sporadic areas where homes were destroyed, but this is just block after block after block, and this devastation, for me personally, I have never seen in Southern California. One or two homes are clearly always standing whenever we show this type of picture, but every now and then, when I was panning along here when we first arrived, I actually saw burnt out vehicles in roadways, and I was kind of wondering, maybe those were people trying to escape, but the firestorm was too strong, or perhaps the vehicles just rolled out of the driveways after the fire or when they were on fire. The one thing I do see out here that is different than in the Palisades area is I do see a lot of utility trucks out there. I'm not sure about who the utility is, but there are a lot of utility workers already in the neighborhood, probably securing utilities, making sure water isn't flowing, gases are shut off, and of course electricity might start being able to be turned back on. But as we take a look from 10,000 feet above the Altadena area, the Eaton Fire, it does definitely take my breath away to see this type of destruction. And again, I have to say, I'm sorry, because I really did not realize how bad the damage was to homes and families out here in the Eaton area. As I pan up a little bit, you can clearly see that's going to be up to the north. That's going to be the mountains that take you up to the Mount Wilson area. And clearly the fire starting in that location and then blowing down into that Altadena neighborhood. It is definitely breathtaking, and again, same type of deal. Words do not describe it, but as far as movement goes, I can say I see a lot of utility workers already out here, fire trucks still on scene, and of course, thank goodness, no hot spots. Sending it back to you all in the studio.
Yeah, Stu, thank you. That gives us a vast overlook at the lives impacted by all this, and then every single person, of course, when you zoom into each of those destroyed homes, has a story to tell. In fact, right here, new video giving us a documented timeline of what one family went through on that night that the Eaton Fire started.